film gave off heavy X-Men vibes. I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way. Ayy. I checked out the FireStarter remake. It's a sci-fi horror film based on a Stephen King novel with the same name. The film follows a youngin' named Charlie McGee, who's born with pyrokinesis, which is the ability to create and control fire with her mind. Charlie's forced to go on the run with her father to get away from a shady government organization that wants to weaponize her special abilities. In an interview with Vanity Fair, Stephen King said his inspiration for the drug behind her special abilities was LSD because apparently he did a lot of LSD in college. Back when I was going to uni, I seen a lot of students do all type of drugs to escape their studies, so I believe him. LSD, aka acid, has over 80 names on the streets. It's usually found as a clear liquid that's applied to absorbent paper, then cut into squares or circles, then applied to the tongue where it enters the bloodstream. It can also be found as a white powder, capsule, or in tablet form. It's a mind-altering drug that causes hallucinogenic effects in the brain. He also said back then he used to hear a lot of LSD scare stories about how it causes genetic mutations in children and could turn them into monsters. Also, when he wrote the book, he had absolutely zero trust in the government and said he had a young daughter at the time that he peeped had a hard time controlling her emotions. His book Firestarter, which eventually became this film, was inspired by those events in his life. In the film, scientists from the government organization DSI, which stands for Department of Scientific Intelligence, aka the Shop, created a serum called Lot 6. Similar to LSD, it was designed to be a hallucinogenic drug, and they used people as their lab rats. Lot 6 alters the chromosomes of those who have been injected. As we seen in the film, some of the lab rats died a bloody, agonizing death, but a few developed psychic powers, including Charlie's parents, who took part in the experiments. They later found out the drug's effects are passed down through their offspring. Her pops, Andy, gained telepathic powers and had a psychic ability they called a push. Locking eyes with someone allows him to read, manipulate, or take over the person's mind. He can also push someone to see or believe what he wants or follow his commands. The ability looked similar to what the Sharingan could do, but it was either doing damage to his brain or eyes, because they bled, and the ability was killing him softly with each use. His wife Vicky gained telekinetic powers, which allowed her to move objects with her mind. After the experiment, they hooked up and had a child, but their powers caused a mutation in their child's DNA, which transferred their powers to her, as well as gave her the power to light-ish up with her mind. The secret behind the psychic ability lies in a person or force user's ability to manipulate atoms within an object or person to accelerate to the point where the heat rises and it or they eventually combust, or by rubbing and heating up air molecules together until they ignite to create a fireball. Scientists state pyrokinesis is impossible, but ancient folklore states witches and warlocks have been able to generate fires without a spell. Also, if you watched the series Avatar: The Last Airbender, you've seen them in action as firebenders. Naturally, they're weak against water or people with hydrokinesis, which is the ability to manipulate water. So far, Charlie's pyrokinesis allows her to hurl fireballs, shoot flames towards someone or an object like a human flamethrower, or set anything she wants ablaze, all with just her mind. But I'm sure she'll unlock more techniques as she matures. It's unclear just how powerful she'll become. The scientist who created the Lot 6 serum said one day she'd be able to create a nuclear explosion simply with the force of her mind, and that she must be terminated to avoid a possible doomsday scenario. Just how Stephen King's daughter was young and emotional, so was Charlie. Up until when she started learning how to harness her abilities, her powers were heavily connected to her emotions, which made her a threat to those around her. Whenever she got angry, sad, or scared, she lost control and almost set everything around her ablaze. The film's ending was completely different from the original and left it open for a sequel. The director, Keith Thomas, must have a trick up his sleeve because Stephen King never wrote a sequel to his FireStarter novel. But the director says that he's down to expand the FireStarter universe and explore other character stories. That dude who became her new guardian at the end of the film is the perfect person to help her control her abilities, since he's mastered his. Maybe in the next film, she'll become an anti-hero that goes up against the government to free other mutants. Blumhouse is usually known for producing decent horror flicks, but the only thing scary about this joint was probably the eerie background music. Zack Effron's performance in this joint as Charlie's pops, Andy, was solid, but overall, this film's story was slow-paced and should have had a lot more action scenes in it. I'm gonna go ahead and run FireStarter 2 mics. Let me know what y'all thought about the film in the comments below. If y'all enjoyed the content, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel before you leave this video. I have movie related content dropping every week, so lock in with me. and hit that like and subscribe button, and I'm gonna get up with y'all on the next video, alright? Holla at me. I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way